it's by far the best bear hunting that I've ever seen. You're not sitting on a stand, you're getting multiple plays, and it's the perfect environment for bow hunting black bear.
Heading to northern Alberta in September for a spot and stalk bear hunt. And when you and I had this basically dropped in our lap, we're like, yeah, we're totally going. And we decided to drive up to Canada. I just didn't want to deal with all the logistics of, well, we live kind of in the middle of nowhere, and where we were going was in the middle of nowhere, and getting there was just going to be a pain in the butt. So long story short, 20-hour drive divided into 2 days, just an epic time. And some of the greatest people on earth that we met. And you and I have both been fortunate in our entire lives to have done a lot of hunting and hunted in a lot of cool places. And we both agree that hands down, this was the single best hunt we'd ever been on in our lives, which is saying something.
The coolest part about this particular hunt was we were able to film a companion video to this video for Wingmen, because the hunt is waterfowl, basically geese in the morning, some ducks, and then bears in the afternoons.
Yeah, so this hunt fell in our laps, and what I mean by that is we're friends with Mike Deming at Pro Membership Sweepstakes, and he has this really cool membership platform where they give, I think, a trip away hunting and fishing trips. I think it's every 10 days or something like that.
Yeah, it's pretty
and this
cool.
particular hunt was already given away to somebody, but there was 2 years of logistic problems for the individual who wanted to get there, and he's finally like, man, just give it away to somebody else. Well, it was such last minute that unless people like us who are fortunate to do this for our jobs,
right,
there's no way somebody's going to pull this off last minute. And so Mike called us up and said, hey, you guys want to go and try this out just so we could experience it too. 7-day hunt, I think,
yeah,
about a week.
That's about what it turned
9-day
out.
round trip is what
Right.
we had. Venture North Outfitting and / Wingmaster Outfitting, they offer a lot more than just this waterfowl black bear combo hunt too. Moose hunting, they have wolf hunting, they have Arctic wolf hunting, they have muskox hunting, and the list goes on and on and on. And they are just amazing hosts. The hunting camps were phenomenal.
Oh, yeah.
The friendships that we made just from being up there a week are the types of friendships that are going to last a lifetime. So yeah, check them out, wingmasteroutfitting.com. Pro Membership Sweepstakes with Mike Deming. The whole 2 operations are phenomenal.
Yep. Let's say there's a few bears here of all different sizes. Little bears, bigger bears. Yeah, but hey.
All right, first night of the bear hunt. There's been some good bear activity. We hear from 2 guides that lie. And no, there's supposed to be some good bears up here. I'm going first. We're gonna flip-flop. Todd stole the sight off my bow.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna freelance it. And we're gonna see what happens.
Brandon's just gonna give her.
Just gonna give her, get her done. They're coming out and feeding in this field, and we're just deciding to plan of attack, which way to go at them. So it's tough to see because some of this cover in the field or the crops are pretty tall. And so we're just gonna, like I said, use no sights, close our eyes, and hope for the best.
Well, that's what you do all the time. So
Exactly.
whatever.
One of my favorite parts of the story, though, is people that have watched our content for a while know that I shoot what some people call bear bow. I shoot instinctive archery, and I've done that since I was 16 years old, and it's going to date me a little bit, so that's 30 years that I've been doing that. And so my sights up here, not that I'm an Olympic expert archer or nothing, but my sights up here are fairly dialed, and so I don't have to think. I pull back and I shoot. And it really freaks people out the first time they see that if they're not used to being around somebody shooting bear. Well, and I shot nothing but recurve for about 12 years, so I've been doing it a long time, a lot of scenarios. But we were at Kyler's house, and the night before, just making sure our systems were dialed in, and I pulled my bow out, and he went, think you're missing something off your bow. And you can imagine if I was in his shoes, not knowing us, not knowing what kind of situation. He just agreed to letting us archery hunt.
I saw the look on his face when you pulled your bow out, there's no sight on it.
Yeah.
And he was very dubious.
Yeah, he was not too sure that this is a good idea. But anyway, it all worked out, and yeah, it was funny. It's funny to watch people's reaction when they see that bear bow. Okay, so we got what looks like a shooter bear right behind me over my right shoulder. And he's coming out in the field this way in a low spot. There's a little bit of a ridge in the field on the other side of him to the east. So we're gonna work our way around back where we just came from, try to get on the other side of that ridge of the field and go after him so we have the wind right. Because otherwise if we keep going this way, he's gonna get our wind. Visual, he's about 200 yards away feeding on the field. Wind's at our advantage, the sun is at our disadvantage. He's within bow range, but he's facing kind of this way. Gave us a slip, I think. The last time he heard one of us step, or he saw me move or something. He was close enough for a shot, but I couldn't get a shot. I think he went back in the trees back here around this peninsula, and we just didn't hear him. Shoot, that was close.
Just to the left of that.
Okay, I got it.
It's not your normal spot and stock bear hunt though, is it? I mean, it's not hunting over bait, really? I mean, it's not a baited hunt, but it's on a crop fields, and these bears are depredating these fields. So, I mean, just kind of...
That's one way of putting it. Yeah, depredating, destroying, I would say. Yeah. This is basically still hunting the edges of these giant Canadian oat fields. Mm-hmm. Right, the oats are ripe. It's right before harvest. In fact, the time frame, the window of opportunity on this hunt's very small, because once these oats are combined, once they're harvested, the bears completely go off.
And then good luck finding.
And you can't find them. All right, so we spotted a bear. I'm up to bat first tonight. We're in big, long oat field strips. And so we can go kind of one to one. We just pulled up here, getting a game plan put together. The guys are like, bear. I look up, he's on 300 yards. So, looks like a decent bear. We're gonna slip up there, get close, see if we can make it happen. Stay with us. finally smelled us. But that was a dead bear. Just a little guy. But good practice. That's a tip. When you find yourself in a situation like that and you find an animal that you know you're not going to harvest, you can still stalk it and get practice stalking. I was easy in bow range. I was 10 yards from that bear. If you can get practice stalks without messing up your whole hunt, do it. Because in that moment of truth, your stalk's gonna be dialed. Shooting bears over bait, shooting bears spot and stalk in where you're glassing them and having a long time to pick them apart on an open hillside with nothing around them, it's much easier to determine sex. In the situation that we were in, determining sex is almost impossible. You're looking for a large bear with a broad head, small ears. It's all bait because all you can see of these bears is the top of their head when they're in the oats, because the oats are belly button high, almost chest high on me, and I'm just shy of 6 feet tall. So they're tall. So all you see is the tops of these bears' heads. And if they stand up, which they do about every few minutes when they're out there feeding. So actually field judging these bears and sexing these bears is just about impossible. You're just looking for a big, mature bear at this point.
All right, day 3 of the bear hunt. I'm up first tonight. Unless Todd kicks me out of the way.
Don't screw it up.
We're gonna hike up this trail.
It's gonna be a good night. It's chilly. It's a lot cooler than it was. It is. This is the first night we've been here since we got here that actually it's felt like fall.
Yeah.
And not late summer. So this is gonna be epic, dude.
Yeah.
Shoot straight.
Get it done.
Got another bear spotted along the edge. He looks like a good bear. Big dark black spot, so we'll see. And that's the trail that he just beat us to the other side on. He just got there before we could. So you think he winded you?
Yeah, Doug. Because he didn't hear us. He didn't see us.
Well, mine didn't.
Shut up.
Missing an arrow, aren't I?
You're full of it. Did you get one?
20 yards. Right there.
Are you serious?
I'm pretty sure I smoked him.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, quartered it right up through him.
Frick yeah. That's a nice surprise.
Isn't it? Got pretty good blood going into the trees. This arrow stuck in him. Didn't pass through.
He didn't make a sound.
I don't know if he's dead. We're going to go find out, though.
I know, but I mean, he didn't, like, you know. It's probably a good thing he didn't, because I would have turned back to Hunter and went, shh.
We're going to go see if we can try to find him. Hopefully he didn't go 20. Where did I see first blood? This is why you mark your blood trails. Yeah. And it's like right here. And then it goes here. And there's blood. There's a bunch of it on that leaf, that green leaf right there, above that dead stick. He went up that trail. It's gushing. Just gushing. We've done. What? Is there something up there? That's him. This has been a phenomenal hunting trip for me. Definitely bucket list. As we're doing the recovery there, you decided to go back out to the field. It's just swirling. The wind is just swirling. Monster bear up here somewhere. Yeah, you killed an absolute monster.
Yeah, it was. We knew it was a good bear, you know, when we were stalking on it, and then when it fed out of the field, I expected to stop for a second on the edge, and then go into the bush. Instead, it fed to the edge and turned and came basically right at me. Yeah, so I got an arrow on the bear, and obviously it was very vocal, rolling around in the oat field, and got up and tried to trot away, but obviously wasn't doing so hot. I had a quartering toward shot and just shattered that right front leg and went into the vitals and went into the bush. And so we thought, well, let's give it at least an hour. Well, we went back there in the dark and found blood. I mean, there's blood right away, no problem following blood trail there. You know, there's blood. And we get to a point where we lost the blood trail. And in the dark, of course, it's harder, because if we would have just turned and looked this way, we would have seen it, because we found it the next morning. But we heard it was still alive, and probably less than 15 yards away in this heavy, dense cover, which is a dangerous situation to be in. And Norm looked back at me and he said, "Did you just hear that?" And it was clacking its jaws at us and growling a little bit. And so he's like, get back, out, we gotta go. And so we backed out, came back the next morning, and at first we thought we couldn't find the trail again. We were getting a little discouraged, and we combed through the trees where we thought we'd heard it the night before.
And it rained that whole night.
Correct. Yep.
So we were really worried about a blood trail.
Exactly. We ended up getting to the other edge of this field, through the trees to this other field that was over there, and we call him Bush Bob. He found the blood trail, and it was like a highway of blood and trampled down. Oh, it's going right to the bear, and we recovered it. And that's when we knew it was a good bear, but we didn't have any idea just how big it was till we got up to it. So
let's breathe. That's a big bear, guys.
Holy crap. Dude.
What are the odds? What are the odds?
Brandon! Oh! Tell me prayers aren't answered or what?
Yeah.
I've been praying since yesterday.
Let's go.
Oh, thank you, Lord. Man.
When he looked up, that thing's got a noggin on it. It's a good bear.
That's a really good bear. Congratulations.
Well, here it is, the big black bear that we came to Alberta for. Man, this has been a heck of an adventure. Todd shot a beautiful bear last night. We found it right away. I shot this one about 30 minutes after that. We really utilized the Onyx Hunt app to mark our waypoints along the way, which is really helpful today actually, because you come back with a fresh set of eyes in the morning or later on, and you tend to remember things just a little bit differently than they actually happened. And so we had several points showing us a trail on the map that really helped us grid off this area once we lost the blood trail. And thanks to one of the guides here, Bob, he happened to see ears poking out of one of the adjacent crop fields. And we went out there and checked it out, and there it was. There's the bear.
Guys, thanks for watching this episode of Beyond the Grid by Eastmans. And until next time, we'll see you in the field.
Oh.